Good evening. Welcome to the Planning Board meeting for Monday, April 22nd, 2024. It's approximately 6:02, and I'll call this regular meeting to order. Before we begin our meeting tonight, there will be one general period of public comment during oral communications. Persons speaking during the general public comment period may provide the Planning Board with oral communications on any matter concerning city business. The public may comment in person or by telephone during the general public comment period. If you would like to participate in the public comment period by making an in-person comment, please present a completed speaker card to the planning staff. If you would like to participate in the public comment period by telephone, please call 818-238-3335 and we will announce when the phone lines are open. This evening, I will lead us in our invocation, followed by a flag salute. If you would please stand. My invocation tonight will be an inspirational thought by Walt Disney. All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Please join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can we get the roll call?
Chair Rosati,
I'm here.
Vice Chair Wick,
Present.
Commissioner Monaco is absent, Commissioner Makutumian,
Here.
and Commissioner Bennett.
Here.
And do we have any announcements from staff?
We have no announcements tonight.
There is one public hearing on tonight's agenda. Item number 1, now is the time and place for the public hearing for project number 23-001160, a request to amend an existing conditional use permit for an amusement enterprise business, Round 1 Entertainment, Inc., located at 201 East Magnolia Boulevard, unit number 145, within the Burbank Town Center Mall. Before we begin, do any planning board members have any legal, financial, or other conflict of interest regarding this hearing?
No.
No.
No. Have any planning board members had any communications, including written or oral, with any persons regarding this project?
No.
No. No.
No. Mr. Ramirez, have the notices by law been given?
Yes, they have.
And are there any written communications on this matter?
We did not receive any written communications.
Will the representative of the Community Development Department please introduce yourself and summarize the matter for us?
Hello, good evening. May I please have the presentation on the screen? Good evening, Chair Rosati and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Karen Chavez, Associate Planner with the City of Burbank Community Development Department. This evening, I'm presenting an application requesting to amend an existing conditional use permit through project number 23-001160 for Round 1 Entertainment, located within the Burbank Town Center at 201 East Magnolia Boulevard, unit number 145. The business representative of Round 1 Entertainment, Ms. Q Min Nguyen, is here tonight and will be available to respond to any questions the Planning Commission may have after this presentation. The project site is located along East Magnolia Boulevard between North 1st Street and North 3rd Street. The project site, shown here outlined in red, is the Burbank Town Center Mall, and the location of Round 1 is identified in the dashed yellow lines. Round 1 is an existing amusement enterprise located inside of the mall, which is served by approximately 8,114 parking spaces within 3 parking garages that are available to all tenants of the mall. The project site has a zoning designation of Plan Development 89-4. The general plan designation for the project site is downtown commercial, which supports civic, shopping, dining, and entertainment uses in the downtown area. Adjacent to the project site are a mix of residential and commercial uses to the north, and a mix of retail, restaurant, and commercial uses to the south, east, and west. Round 1 has been in operation at the project site since March of 2020 and operates daily from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. The business includes an arcade area, bowling lanes, pool tables, private party rooms, and a bar area. The City of Burbank Police Department identified that between March 2020 and April 2024, there have been a total of 20 calls for service at this location. The calls for service have been limited to business alarms, miscellaneous calls not relating to a crime, lost item and theft, disturbance outside of the project site, and one intoxicated person. The extent of the calls did not rise to a level of concern for the City of Burbank Police Department, subject to the operator's ongoing monitoring of applicable ABC regulations and associated conditions of approval. Shown here are recent photos of the project site as seen from inside the mall looking northeast and inside Round 1 looking southeast. This evening, the applicant is requesting modifications to an existing CUP that was originally approved by the Planning Commission in May of 2019. The CUP allows Round 1 Entertainment to operate as an amusement enterprise use with the on-site sale and consumption of beer and wine and late-night business hours within a 42,848 square foot tenant space inside the mall. The requested amendments to the CUP would allow for the modification of the existing ABC Type 41 license to a Type 47 license to permit the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits. It would allow for the expansion of the establishment within the mall by an additional 6,218 square feet to accommodate more arcade space and an additional private party room, resulting in a new total size of 49,066 square feet. And it would also allow the consumption of alcoholic beverages within the entire tenant area. Additionally, the applicant is requesting an update to the conditions of approval to allow consumption of alcoholic beverages within the private party rooms. The applicant does not propose any other changes to the business operations. This is the existing floor plan. The area shaded in red identifies the existing tenant space for Round 1 inside the mall. The area shaded in blue identifies the former mall exit entry door, interior corridor, and adjacent tenant space. And this is the proposed floor plan. As identified by the area shaded in blue, the applicant is requesting to expand their tenant space within the mall to accommodate more arcade space and an additional private party room. However, there is no new square footage being proposed to the mall. Staff recommends ongoing compliance with the amended and restated conditions of approval incorporated into the resolution that places limitations on the existing amusement enterprise business operations in order to mitigate potential negative impact to the surrounding uses and are detailed in full in the resolution. Some of the key conditions include the following: on-site incidental sales and consumption of beer, wine, and distilled spirits, prohibited off-site sales and consumption of alcohol, prohibited dance floor and live entertainment, no business operation beyond 2 a.m., last call to take orders for alcohol shall be no later than 1:30 a.m., and furthermore, alcoholic beverages shall not leave the premises, no loitering or public drinking on private property signs shall be posted, employees shall be trained in alcoholic beverage compliance, crime prevention techniques, and handling of violence, on-site security during the hours that alcohol is being served, and patrons consuming alcohol shall wear a high-visibility wristband that is easily identified by employees and security personnel. Based on staff's assessment, the project qualifies for a categorical exemption from CEQA under Section 15301, involving negligible or no expansion of existing or former use, and there are no unusual circumstances that would preclude the use of this exemption. As part of staff's review of the request to modify the conditional use permit, the project was reviewed for consistency with the Burbank 2035 General Plan, the applicable zoning regulations, the required conditional use permit findings per BMC Section 10-1-1936 as detailed in the staff report and attached resolution, and project compliance with conditions of approval to ensure ongoing compatibility with the surrounding land uses. As outlined in staff's report, it is staff's assessment that, subject to the amended and restated conditions of approval, the project complies with all applicable requirements. Staff finds that the project is exempt from CEQA, the project is consistent with the general plan, and the project satisfies the required findings for a conditional use permit. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution amending a conditional use permit through project number 23-0001160, subject to the amended and restated conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation, and staff is available for any questions the commission may have.
Thank you. I will now invite the applicant or the representatives to address the planning board. You will have a maximum time of 15 minutes to make your presentation.
Hello, good evening, chairs, commissioners, and members. My name is Q. I am a representative from Round 1 Entertainment. On behalf of the applicant, I am here to answer your questions about our CUP. As you may know, we are a couple blocks away from the City Hall, and we have arcade, bowling, billiards, as Ms. Karen presented. And we've been blessed to be at the City of Burbank since 2020, and despite opening at the beginning of COVID, this location has consistently been the top 5 performing stores nationally for us. And as Ms. Karen presented, in the past 4 years, we've only had 20 service calls, and only one of them was associated with an intoxicated patron. So we've been trying our best to keep the sales and services of alcohol under control. And with this upgrade of Type 41 to Type 47 license, we plan to continue to keep our security under control at Round 1 at Burbank. So if you have any questions about security, we're happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. We will now open up the meeting to hear from any persons who wish to speak on this matter. Each person may address the planning board for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please present a completed speaker card to the planning staff. If you wish to speak for members of the public that want to comment by telephone, 818-238-3335 is the number. Callers will be placed in the queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as we get the first few callers in. Please remember to lower the volume on your television or your computer and take your phone off speaker when delivering your comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
We do not have any speakers or callers.
Okay. Let's give it 1 minute, just in case a caller calls in. There being no further public comment on this item, I now declare the public comment period closed. Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
No further comments.
No further comments. And does the applicant wish to make?
I'm sorry, Chair. It seems that there's one caller.
Oh, there is a caller. Okay.
We'll send him through in a second.
Okay.
caller is live.
Good evening.
Hi there. Sarah Humphreys. Let me just mute my computer so we don't get background noise. Hi, I'm Sarah Humphreys. I've been a resident and property owner here in Burbank for over 16 years. I'm involved in two separate, a public elementary school and a private preschool, and I created a nonprofit to support our preschool. I moved here specifically because my husband and I felt this would be a safe and healthy community for our children. Last Friday, I was notified by one of the directors of our preschool that project permit number 23-000502 for a 5G cell phone tower at 800 South Main Street was basically on deck to be approved, and the approval letter or denial letter should come out as early as tomorrow. I called this morning and I spoke with a young lady named Fatima. I asked her some very questions about when I can... Yeah?
Hello? Just a second.
Yes, can you hear me?
This meeting is not regarding the cell phone tower. This meeting is regarding... So there is
I was told that I could make any public comment, and I wanted an opportunity to discuss this.
So let me do this. There is a public comment period in this meeting. I will allow you to make your public comment period now to accommodate you, so you don't have to call back later. So go ahead and complete your public comment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kindness. I spoke to Fatima earlier today because she had returned an email to the directors of our preschool and explained that because this 5G tower complies with FCC guidelines and Burbank guidelines, that there was no reason to effectively stop this project. And she had cited the fact that there had been no scientific studies provided to imply that this should be halted in any way, which isn't true because our director of the preschool cited a study and also cited language from the American Pediatric Association wherein it describes that being directly exposed to cell phone towers and the radiation therefrom can cause headaches, memory problems, dizziness, depression, sleep problems. Also, there are cancer issues associated with being this close to a cell phone tower. This cell phone tower is going to be nestled in the center of two preschools, McKenna Elementary School, where there are 445 students, and Huerta Middle School, where there's currently 956 students. There was a cell phone tower in Ripon, California, that was near an elementary school where 4 students and teachers were diagnosed with different forms of cancer as a result of this radiation exposure. Do we have to wait for our children to have cancer before we decide that putting a cell phone tower less than 100 feet from a school is appropriate? This is super concerning as I have 2 very small children, one of whom is only 2 years old, and we are zoned for these schools. Our preschool is 300 feet from where the cell phone tower is to be. This is a frightening thing to discover on Friday, and to think that I don't have enough time, opportunity to push back on this, especially knowing that this is a building, I believe, that is owned by Disney. It's frightening to me as a property owner and as a community member. I want the opportunity to push back on this and to share the scientific information that we have. But when I spoke to Fatima this morning, she told me that I would have to do an appeal in order to get this information.
Ma'am, your 3 minutes is up, but your comments have been documented, and maybe we'll get a staff brief comment later. But I appreciate your call.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other public comment regarding this agenda item?
No more callers or speakers.
Okay. Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
No further comments.
And does the applicant wish to make any further comments?
Okay. Hi, my name is Steven Takeuchi, Construction Compliance Director for Round 1 Entertainment. Just wanted to add that along with this CUP approval, we were hoping that we will also sign. Actually, no comments. Thank you.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for staff or the applicant? Ms. Wick?
Yes, I have a couple questions for the applicant, please. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
As far as the party rooms are concerned, what percentage, roughly, of your establishments allow alcohol in the party rooms?
With only the exception of I believe only one store in California that we do not allow alcohol in the party rooms. The rest of our 10 stores in California, we do allow the sales and consumption of alcohol in our karaoke rooms.
Okay. Is the one Burbank, or is it
Oh,
Burbank in
sorry.
addition?
Burbank and one other store in North California.
Got it. And I was not on this commission in 2019, but I did watch the meeting. But just for the benefit of the public, are you able to describe your process in terms of how you serve, how you card, just for the benefit of the public in the record?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
So, when a patron comes up to our bar in order to purchase alcohol, we will perform an ID check with an electronic scanner, and once we verify that the ID is indeed valid and it is for the patron that is purchasing alcohol, we will issue a wristband that is specific for that day only. And so the person with the wristband will be able to purchase alcohol, and they will be able to consume alcohol on our premise. And then throughout the day, we will have all of our staff walking around and making sure that our guests are drinking responsibly and no one without a wristband is consuming alcohol in our store.
And how many staff members and security guards do you have on hand at any given point, roughly? I don't need an exact number.
I'll answer that question.
Thank you.
Typically, on the weekday shift schedule, we'll have anywhere from 10 to 13 staff on site, and then on the weekends during peak hours, we'll typically have about 30 staff members. And then security guards, so currently we have one security guard on the weekdays and then 2 on the weekends. And then with this new proposed alcohol license, we're hoping to up that to 2 during the weekdays and then 3 or 4 on the weekends.
Okay. And how many of your locations have a Type 47 alcohol license in California?
So we're trying to change the Type 41s to 47s throughout California. The only locations that we will not be pursuing will be Lakewood, California, and Salinas, California.
And why is that?
Lakewood, California, and Salinas, we actually had meetings with the local police departments, and they recommended that we do not pursue Type 47. They allowed the Type 41, but they weren't comfortable with the Type 47. So,
Okay. Thank you.
I had a couple questions.
yes.
The party rooms are private,
Correct, it is private.
and is the alcohol being served into the room, or is there alcohol in the room?
You'll have to purchase the alcohol at the bar and then bring it into the room.
Into the room. And then it's a private room, but your staff will be able to go into that room.
Correct. So each party, typically when guests reserve a party with our stores, there's a party host or attendant that will be constantly checking in on our customers on their requests and orders, and also just for security, just looking at making sure that no ruckus is going on.
Got it. Okay. Any other questions for staff or the applicant? Seeing none, I now declare the public comment period closed. What is the board's pleasure? Any comments? Anyone want to make a motion?
I have no comment. I think it's a good use of the space at the Burbank Mall. I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution of approving project number 18-0006498, a request to modify a conditional use permit allowing the establishment of an amusement enterprise, Round One Entertainment, to provide on-site sale of consumption of beer, wine, and distilled spirits, and to expand their existing location.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any more discussion regarding that motion? I'm just going to simply say that I was on the board when the initial application came through. I'm glad it's worked out for you where you want to expand and stay in Burbank. I know that there was some hesitation, but a couple of people said, well, there's nothing really like that in Burbank before. Actually, there was. There was the Pickwick Bowling Alley, which had the arcade and had the bar, had food, and bowling. So we actually did have something like that in Burbank. So anyways, I'm hoping that you guys will do a good job in monitoring the additional alcohol. I know it's in our conditions of approval that if there are too many complaints, that could be yanked at any moment. So please be diligent in your processes. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, and anybody abstaining? Motion passes. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Now is the time for reports from staff. Do we have any reports?
We do not have any reports from staff.
Okay. And now is the time for oral communications from the public. Any person speaking during this period may address the planning board on any matter concerning city business. Each person may address the planning board for a maximum time of 3 minutes. For members of the public who wish to comment in person, please present a speaker card to the planning staff. For members of the public who would like to call in at 818-238-3335 to address the planning board, callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. The phone lines are now open. Please bear with us as we get the first few callers through. Please remember to lower the volume on your phone or TV and take your phone off speaker when delivering your comment. Any callers?
No callers or speakers.
And let's give it a minute. Any callers?
No callers.
Okay. I now declare the public comment period closed. Do we want to address the public comment that we received?
Sure. I'll just give a little bit of background about.
Is that coming to us too?
No, it will not be. What it is a administrative use permit that was submitted for a cell site at 900 South Main Street. We're reviewing the application now to confirm that it meets all the required findings per our code and also any local, state, and federal standards. So we're going through that process right now. Anyone who has comments on it should reach out to staff and give us their comments on the application. We hope to have a final decision on that sometime this week, and then will be an appeal period. But we're going through that process right now.
Okay. Thank you for that.
And just a couple things. I want to welcome our new Commissioner Bennett. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
And welcome. And we are thrilled to have a fifth commissioner, and thank you for taking the time to help us out on this commission. We can get very busy sometimes, so welcome. And finally, I want to introduce our new senior planner. You'll be seeing her. You can stand.
Welcome. welcome.
Her name is Vanessa Kiros, if I said that right. Close enough. She's a senior planner and recently hired in our division, so we're very excited to have her. And she has several years of experience in both current and long-range planning, and you'll be seeing her at future meetings.
Great. Thanks for coming.
And that's all the comments I have.
Thank you. Now is the time for approval of minutes from April 8th, 2024. Is any questions or comments or a motion regarding those minutes?
I would like to make one correction to the minutes. Small detail. I supported option 1 instead of option 3. I think there was a little bit of confusion there was a little bit of confusion on that with my back and forth with Commissioner Monaco. I supported option 1, so I would just like that carried over in the minutes.
Noted. Motion?
I move to approve the minutes from April 8th, 2024 as modified,
As amended
amended, thank you.
or modified?
I'd like to second the motion.
We have a second. Any more discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And anyone abstaining?
I will abstain, please.
We have an abstain. And no, and there's no no's. Okay, great. Now is the time for the introduction of additional agenda items. Planning board members may introduce new items for discussion, but no action may take place except to place it on a future agenda. Do we have anything we would like to put on a future agenda? Nothing. Now is the time for city planner comments.
I already probably.
You already made those
I already
comments.
made my comments, sorry.
All right.
I was responding to the question from the caller, so,
Yeah.
and I expanded.
Great. We are now adjourning the board meeting for Monday, May 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. This meeting will be held in person in the City Council Chamber at 275 East Olive Avenue. The public is invited to attend the meeting in person or view the meeting online or television. The public will be able to provide public comment in the following ways: in person or by calling 818-238-3335 or e-comments at burbankca.gov/ecomments. Thank you all for participating tonight. Good evening.